Hey, John here with Real Hard Reviews. Today, we're looking at absolutely phenomenal overclocking card, the Asus Strix 1660 Ti OC. So, we sadly didn't get any 1660 Ti's when they were released, and Asus was kind enough to give us one to fill our charts. This will be our last of the all NVIDIA charts, as our review team is now packing a whole bunch of AMD cards, and we will be hammering those out next week. So, when you ask in the charts, where's the AMD? I'm sorry, this is our last all NVIDIA review. I know many of you complained before asking me why we don't cover AMD. Well, because AMD doesn't give us anything. They used to. Jason was one of the best reps we've had in our lives, and he moved on to bigger and better, and we're sad to see him go. But the new AMD team doesn't show us much love, so out of our own pockets, so maybe notice that we haven't been doing as many big giveaways, we bought a bunch of gear. We bought a 570, we bought a 580, we bought some Vegas, we bought a bit of everything just so we can fill up our charts again and make sure that we are being honest and realistic when we are comparing devices. So you will see very shortly a nice comparison. With that all out of the way, I'm going to jump into a quick unboxing that I did before the card was gone here, as well as a full review with multiple games, as well as 1440, 1080p, and for the 4K results, please click the description below to read the full massive review comparing a absolutely incredible magnitude of games, which if I was going to show you them all here today, you would be sitting here for at least 4 hours. But in the review in the description below, we have covered everything. And before I go any farther, if you buy the Asus Strix 1660 Ti OC and leave it at that stock overclock, you are a madman or woman, because this card overclocks better than many other cards we've seen, and it is in our top 5 favorite cards of all time. With that, let's jump right into the review. So as we jump into the unboxing here, you can see that Asus has included a 6-month premium license of the WT Fast technology software. This is a gaming VPN. It's supposed to reduce your ping and increase stability, as well as get so people aren't watching what you're doing. Pretty cool. They have upgraded pretty much everything to do with the cooling and the BIOS with the ROG Strix Gaming 1660 Ti OC. You have a dual BIOS mode, a quiet mode, and a performance mode. This is great to have. A completely redesigned fan, GPU tweak 2.0, as well as a great RGB controller built in to give you all the lighting controls you'd want, or with a quick click of a button you can turn it off. I'll get a little closer into this later on. As you can see, the packaging is still beautiful, tells you everything you need to know. With it, it is very well packaged. Strix has covered this, well, Asus has covered this to make sure that it is nice and secure. You have no worries of it getting damaged in shipping. They again include the getting started guide as well as a driver disk. Don't use a driver disk. Go online, download the newest driver from NVIDIA as always. Very well packaged card, as you can see. No worries of damage. And then as we get a little deeper into this, this is what I was talking about with the on-off LED button. This is phenomenal. Click of a button and the RGB is off. If you fudge one of the biases when you're overclocking it from the premium performance mode, you can click over to quiet and resolve that problem. Beautiful backplate with the card. Again, remove the stickers before using. And as you can see, Asus provides a beautiful backplate. It looks phenomenal. That 8-pin header is going to give you all the power you need, as it's only 130 watt TDP and 150 is provided by a standard 8-pin, giving you a lot more overclocking headroom than you could possibly need. The back slot are going to be giving you an HDMI, a DisplayPort, and a DisplayPort, which seems to be the new standard for the GTX1600 lineup. And it's all you really need on most monitors these days. You can use adapters if you need to go to DVI or anything else. It is a 2.5-inch slot, so it's slightly larger than any of the normal 2.5 or 2-inch slots. You now have a 2.5, so you're going to slightly go over the next PCI bracket after that second bracket down. This is to provide additional cooling. The cooling fans are beautiful. They have a full ring around them now to provide extreme cooling and to only push straight down onto those heat spreaders that they need to. As you can see, Asus has included a stiffener bracket as well as the backplate to provide a lot less flex than you get with a normal card. So On the Strix 1660 Ti, most likely you will not be needing a secondary plate. On this as well, you have dual fan headers and an RGB controller right on the back of it, which gives you a lot more premium controlling. Going a little deeper in, we're going to completely tear down the card. So as you can see, it is a premium design. Tape is normal, throws us off always every time when you open up the top of a card and you see a little bit of tape, but that's completely normal. That back plate is beautiful. That cooler is perfection. It is completely polished down to provide additional cooling. Those heat spreaders and heat pipes look phenomenal, and they are completely machined and specifically designed for this cooler and this card only, which is nice because some manufacturers will use multiple coolers on the same cards and designs multiple times over. Getting in, you can see the stiffener plate right there is beautiful. It provides a lot of protection for your card as well as prevents any flex, and connecting directly to the back plate, it is going to do basically what you do with a normal GPU support bracket. So that's a secondary support bracket that you buy aftermarket from somewhere awesome like MNPC Tech or whatnot else. And you can see all Japanese capacitors, Dr. Moss 2.0. Everything Asus has done here is to provide a premium product for overclockers. If you're looking for a card that just works, you do not have to worry about it. You want premium components, hands down, and you want to know specifically what every single one of these capacitors are and mods, check out the full review in the description below, and we will describe all of that. So with that, let's jump right into the charts and gaming before I show off a little bit of what the RGB can do on this fantastic gaming GPU. For today's charts, we are going to be looking at 5 different games, 1080p and 1440. For our 4K results, please click the link in the description below, as well as you will see many other games. These were the top rated games from our Patreon as well as our forum. So the ROG Strix 1660 Ti is getting an average of 71 frames per second and 57 at the minimum. So no choppiness, you will have a great game experience. It is just coming shy of the stock 1070 when it comes to the Division 2 at 1080p. Now we jump into Far Cry New Dawn at 1080p, Ultra again, DX11, and we are seeing results of 87 on the average and 68 on the minimum. It is still coming shy of the 1070, but it is sitting above the 60 frames per second, even on the minimum, which is perfection. Now for Battlefield 5, again Ultra preset, DX12, we do have ray tracing off, but this is where it starts to trade blows. It is now above the GTX 1070 stock and sitting at 85.9 frames per second on the average and 72.7. So if you're a 1080p player, this is a great card coming close to that 90 FPS, which is really nice to see for first-person shooters. Jumping into our 1440p results, we have the Division 2, and we are now sitting at 49 frames per second on the average, 39 on the minimum, which is still quite playable for a game like the Division 2. And if you're a 1440p gamer, this is going to be still a great card for you. If the Division 2 at maxed out settings is important, lowering the settings down, you can get that 120 frames per second. No problem, but again, you're going to have to lower the settings down at that point to get that required 60 for many players, or that 120 for those high refresh monitors. Far Cry New Dawn at Ultra settings, 1440p, we're getting results on the average of 65 with a minimum of 38. This is not bad whatsoever, as you're going to get that desired 60 frames per second, and with lowering your settings, if you have a high refresh monitor, you may want to do this. You're going to get that 120 no problem whatsoever. But with the Ultra DX11 settings, this is going to be a buttery smooth gaming experience, not dropping lower than that 30 with 38 as the 1% lows. You are going to have a great gaming experience if you go with the 1660 Ti, even for 1440p gaming experience. And if you do want to know the 4K and the overclock results, please click the link in the description below. Switching over to 1440p, the Battlefield 5 benchmarks, you can see we are beating the 1660 no problem, but the 1070 has now flipped roles and the 1660 Ti is being beat with 53.6 on the average, 41.9 on the minimum. With a small OC in there of your own, you're going to beat that 1070 again. And to find out more, please click the link in the description below. Now we jump into what the 1660 Ti ROG Edition was all made for. Overclocking. Overclocking this on Rise of the Tomb Raider, we are now seeing a frames per second of 99 as the average, and this is at 1080p, matching its stock settings of 98. So you do get a bit of a jump, and again, it is now destroying even modified and overclocked 1070s. Jumping into 1440, and again it is beating the 1070, getting a nice frames per second of 64 as the average, so you're getting that 64 butter smooth, and 41 as the minimum, beating the 62 average of the 1070 stock. This is a great overclocking card and really does impress. So with that, let's take a quick look at the RGB and just have our final conclusion of our thoughts of the Asus Strix 1660 Ti OC. With the gaming results out of the way, do we recommend the Asus ROG Strix GTX 1660 Ti? Hands down, we've given this our hardcore award. It is an unbelievably high performance 1660 Ti, and Asus has done a phenomenal job. Whether it is their oversized cooler, amazing fans, or just great features, RGB, fan control, and the room for overclocking is phenomenal, giving you a card that is easily within that $20 above the 1660 Ti budget for anyone. And many times they're going to go on sale and match the stock 1660 Ti. And if you see this, buy it hands down. If you got room in your case for this card, buy it. If you want to know a lot more about it, click the link in the description below where we get even more in depth into the 1660 Ti from Asus. I'm John with Real Hard Reviews. Thanks for stopping by. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the links in the description below, and if you're looking to buy it, we do have an affiliate link below as well. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. This is John with Real Hard Reviews, signing out. Have a good one.